Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is yet another week down. It is This Week in Gaming. I am joined by Stevie V, the one and only
Universe.
incomparable. I am your host, Aaron, Call for Fire, the designer, owner, maker of things that you guys like, gamer and nerd guy, I guess, is what I'm going to call myself today.
We shortened that up. We shortened that up with badass nerdery.
Oh, badass nerdery. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Badass nerdery.
I dig that a lot, actually. So it's been a bit of a slow week, but I'm not terribly mad at it because we got such big things happening this week. We have Battlefield 2042 Early Access dropping, and I could not be more excited about that. But as well, we have Starfield, the Bethesda game,
Another
brand new
one.
universe, their first new universe in 25 years is dropping concept art this week. I don't know how excited everybody else is about that, but I, as a sci-fi nerd, just really will eat up anything that comes along when it comes to sci-fi. So I'm excited to see what Bethesda, of all people, will do with a straight up science fiction in space go and game space.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. And just in case you guys didn't know, if you weren't aware, Aaron's a big Star Wars fan. I know he's kind of quiet about it sometimes, and he doesn't really, let you know about it. But he is, as am I, and I think we can speak to other Star Wars nerds here. But I think anything that allows you to pretend to be Han Solo for a little bit immediately
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
pulls you in right there. And
Oh, Angry with the rate of 2. How's it going, Angry?
yeah,
Buck Chase, how you doing?
that's that looks good. We were talking about that a little bit beforehand, and it definitely, with the way Starfield looks, it looks as if somebody watched a lot of Firefly and a lot of Firefly or Serenity, and then they played some Star Citizen and
Just went for it.
Starfield.
They're like,
Starfield.
we just want to make things in space, and that's what they are doing, and that's I'm very
Uh-huh.
excited about that.
Oh yeah.
I I think it's going to be an interesting watch. We're gonna check out the trailer for Starfield because I don't think a lot of people really know anything about that game yet. Um,
Yeah.
and then we'll get into the concept art, and we'll get into a little bit of the feel and the look, and what's working for us and what's not. But in general, I'm kind of excited about that. That's why it's on the docket at all, because there's not a whole lot this week that's actually been happening.
It's a slow
It's
week.
a slow one, and if you look around the internet in general, it just seems like everybody's just kind of digging to find reasons to talk about video games right now.
Yep.
Um,
Also, I think a lot of people haven't tried. They tried purposely to not try to overlap everything happening with Battlefield either.
yeah, exactly, and that's smart on everyone's.
Mhm.
Uh, that's smart of everyone to do right now because that game is just incredibly huge.
It's gonna break the internet.
It's gonna be massive, and I just keep seeing more about it that just excites me more and more. But
Mhm.
Stevie, what have you been playing this week while you've been not on the
So,
show?
so this week I have been doing two games mainly. Um, I've been doing the Escape from Tarkov.
Hmm.
Everybody they're pretty familiar. That's one of my cornerstones.
Yep.
They just had an update happen 2 days ago, or no, actually the last 2 days. There have been two separate updates. They were switching to the new Unity engine. They were trying to debug a lot of the stuff, and it actually feels a lot smoother, which is cool. The first update went, and they were supposed to be putting the stuff in for the OSL and the SSL. I believe, I don't even know if I pronounced that right. Excuse me, but supposed to help with the desync. That happened yesterday, so
Hmm.
I was playing those games until I couldn't, and I've actually been putting a lot of time in with Enlisted. Enlisted's coming out of the same studio that has done War Thunder, and it's essentially the War Thunder engine, but there's tanks and there's planes, but there's also infantry
Oh,
and RPG style leveling for your infantry units,
okay.
both Axis and Allies, across four separate campaigns right now. It's Africa, Russia, um, like Normandy, and yeah, that's it actually.
Nice.
Was that four? Was that four?
I don't know. I didn't count.
I didn't either. So those are going on, but
I'm bad
it's
with
really fun.
numbers.
It definitely reminds me, visually reminds me of like Band of Brothers in Arms.
Right. Okay.
Looks great, plays really well. The tank driving in that game is actually one of my most favorite things that I've been doing in that, and I've been leveling it up like crazy, and I feel like I'm in Fury, the sequel, when I'm doing it. It is just absolutely awesome, and that's been a lot of time I've been putting in. It's a free game, there, so
Oh.
just to throw that out there, it's a free game. Much like War Thunder, much like World of Tanks, World of Warships. It's free, but you can do battle passes and you can buy squads and ships and all that. And the really cool part is that they're actual units from that were actually used in theater. So you have, you have your first infantry, you have like your 364th armored division, you have like all these like actual units that were there that have like something specific or that was their deal. Aaron might like this, they do have the forward observers that call for fire in the
He
game,
said
and
it.
you
He said
he
it.
said it, he said it, he said
He said it.
it. But it's pretty rad because you can get these guys and they have, level up your forward observers. They can call an artillery down like every 30 seconds, like naval guns or
Mm.
like artillery guns, mortar shells. There's a lot. There's a lot, and it's different because, and ready for this one, you don't play just as one guy. So it's not like Battlefield or Call of Duty. You play as a squad. So everybody has squads of 4 to 6 players. So the number it just looks like ants running everywhere,
Right.
which is super rad. And if
So it
you
just looks. It
die,
looks huge, but it's like
it's
a couple of people playing a bunch of squads.
it's 20 on 20.
Yeah.
So it's 20 on 20, take 20 multiply, 4 times 5 or 4 or 5
Yeah.
on
So
that one. It's just huge numbers, and you can command your units separately. So there's kind of that cool element of like the old like Company of Heroes and
right. Full spectrum warrior
yeah,
style.
it's great to be able to just plug these units everywhere, and you can customize what everyone has. You can change their rifles, subguns, support rifles, sniper rifles, pistols, grenades. Like you can set up your squads. It's kind of groundbreaking of how it plays out. And there was an instance last night where I just unlocked the M1 Garand for my units. So I have all these infantry guys running M1 Grands, and we're doing all kinds of, fun stuff. And I have grenades with them. But then one of my guy has like the TNT packs for tanks. And I was like, oh shit, there's a tank right there. So I switched to it,
Yeah.
blew up the tank, and I was like, that was really rad. Like that was really cool. And each units are specific to certain things too. Like you get the paratrooper units, like they have big buffs that they have a health buff, they have a stamina buff because they're paratroopers, they're airborne guys, so they're a little more stamina based characters. Like it's really cool to see the details that went into it, especially for a game that you're not hearing a lot about, but it's got a big following. And
Right.
every game that I've played so far has been packed to the gills. So
Yeah.
people are playing it, and it's super fun, and it's free. So it's like,
I've seen you play this game a couple times now, and I've had no idea that it was free because I just never asked because I'm not one to just jump into a new game all the time.
yeah,
But
hmm
that's me being the one game person that I am, where I'm just gonna play the hell out of
a
Battlefield
one game on.
2042
Yep,
until the PS6 is released. That's just the way that I play games. But
yep.
now that I know that that is actually a free to play game, maybe I'll have to go get it and check it out because
I get. It
you
was
know
a pretty good. It's a pretty good palate cleanser for the FPS because you're still
yeah.
playing a first person shooter, but if you ever played any of like the World of Tanks or I know World of Tanks and War Thunder not the same one, but you get these vehicles like this vehicle style combat that these games have where you're actually trying to like immobilize a vehicle. You can you have like a Sherman, you have like an old M83 tank versus like a
Right.
Panther tank or a Tiger tank, and it's like you have to be trying to figure out like if you're somebody that's a buff of history and like war history or military history, you're gonna look at this Panther tank and be like, all right, I got to shoot the side plate on the turret, and I know that I can kill whoever's up there shooting that gun. And instead of it just you're not just
Your
lining up and
your knowledge of like real world will actually kind of end up
Which,
helping you lightly.
yep.
It's like when you're in Tarkov and you're like, "Oh, I actually know how to communicate well."
Yeah.
I can play
Or,
radio silence when I need to. I know what break
or,
break break
yep.
break means. Like those
Yeah.
those
Or,
little
yeah.
pieces actually help you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
100%. Like
Yeah.
it's rad, dude. It's a lot of fun, and like I said, the fact that it's free is cool. And I'm honestly thinking about actually putting some money into it because I play it so consistently,
Yeah.
and they have some pretty cool buffs in there. Like it's just
Well, we will
the maps are dope, so it's
we'll
good.
we'll have
It's
to check
definitely
it
you'll be
out.
seeing that for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, to jump right to it, we're gonna go
Yes.
ahead and talk about our sponsor this evening. It is
Mm-hmm.
shopcallforfire.com.
.com.
.com. You guys have seen this as of last week, but those of you who haven't seen it yet, it is the Shake and Bake hoodie or Shake and Bake, not hoodie, Shake and Bake beanie, and the air
A
goes in,
weird
air
hoodie.
goes out, and the blood goes round and round poster. The Shake and Bake beanie, a upgrade on the classic beanie with the awesome Shake and Bake art by yours truly. Air goes in, air goes out, and the blood goes round and round poster. A fan suggestion based on a quote meme that we did the other week. So if you aren't already checking it out, make sure that you guys go out and check out the Call for Fire Instagram. Make sure you have followed. If you don't have an Instagram, you don't want to be on Instagram, but you have a Facebook, make sure you hop on Facebook at Call for Fire Designs. But if you don't have either of those and you're on Twitter, make sure you check me out on Twitter at Aaron Provost, at Aaron underscore Provost. I don't know. Check it out. I'm on there somewhere. Um, Anyway, we're gonna get back to it. Stevie, we're gonna let me just jump over to this one while we're still going. So we got
Let's
a
do
couple
it.
people. Um, so we are not talking about enlisted anymore, but we were talking about
No.
enlisted because that is what Stevie was playing this week along with Tarkov.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
Buck Chase, it is a good sponsor. Call for Fire
So
is a good sponsor. They make great T-shirts, like the one that I'm wearing right now.
they make good
Destroyer
stuff.
stands upon a hill. And all you old fisters out there know what this means. The young bucks might not know what that means, but that's because they just don't teach the old ways. They just don't teach it the way they used to.
Oh, there it is. They
S-
just dated himself.
yeah, I'm old. I'm
Back in
old.
back
I'm
in
old,
my
boys and
day.
girls. Don't
Back
don't
in my
don't
day.
let the great hair and beard trick you. I'm old, y'all. Uh, Point Break. These cute SOBs every time. Wet floor signs. We got to get them out. Angry Mug. Pretty mouths like that. I'm not gonna be able to keep in my pants. You do what you gotta do, bud. Um, but we're gonna get into the first piece of news this week, and
Yes, yes, yes.
we have all of two pieces this week because it's been so damn slow.
We we have one major piece and then some curtains
some
that we threw
just
over
some
it.
like yeah, here you go. All right, it's gonna be great. But it
Let's
really
see.
was like that slow. Like people are talking about like Pokemon
Hot,
company wanting to make more serious games. They're talking about like leaks about the like remakes of Pokemon games. Like there's just nothing
Todd
real
Howard.
happening right now this week in terms
Todd
of
Howard
news.
was on Reddit earlier, and he answered 6 questions. One of them was about Starfield. It's going to be cool. And then the other five were about the Jarl's wife in Skyrim, a
Right on.
spear gun in Fallout 4. Like, there's just nothing going on.
There's just
It's
nothing.
so slow. It's so
So
slow.
so
One
this
thing.
evening it's we're gonna go over Starfield. We're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna talk about
Mhm.
Battlefield. That's it. We're gonna get into it. So to start it off for real, for some context, because I don't think a lot of people know about Starfield,
No,
and I don't think I'm wrong in that assumption. I think a lot of people kind of missed uh, Bethesda doing their first new universe in 25 years. I
not
think I
not
think a
only
lot of people have missed that.
not only that, but there's a lot of people that are they put Bethesda in the friend zone after everything with Fallout 76 as well.
Yeah, and then
Where
they got acquired
you're
by
funny.
all the Xbox of all places, like that. Like
True.
there's a lot of weirdness happening right now. So let me try and get this to jump up. Starfield does sound like Star Citizen in a way, and when you see the concept art, you kind of get that same feel as what Stevie was talking about earlier. It's just you just kind of get some of that same feeling, and you get a
Yep.
little bit of that Western, but you also like get a little bit of cyberpunk coming in there. Like there's a lot of little pieces that
Yeah.
they're kind of playing with and messing with different civilizations that seem to be popping up all over the place. And I did say Garfield. It's the new Garfield game. That's what we're covering, everybody. Um,
Yeah. Mhm.
Let me see if I can't unscrew this because I don't even know where my. That's not what we're doing. I'm like looking for the damn thing. I swear I'll get better at this in time, people. It's just missing. Like I love Streamlabs, but sometimes like I just cannot find the piece that I'm looking for. So we're just gonna do a brand new window capture and try and find the right damn source. All right, that's terrible.
You got to just take a page from my man Todd Howard's book, man. It
There we
just
go.
worked.
Okay, so we're
Ooh.
doing this on the fly. Here we go. So, uh, yeah, I'm actually kind of excited about Starfield in general because it just seems like a place for me to actually jump in with Bethesda because
Hmm.
I'm gonna be honest with everybody. I don't want people to see my mouth when I say this because it's kind of embarrassing. I haven't actually really played a Bethesda game in real life. Like I just haven't. I just haven't been playing Bethesda games. I haven't really cared to jump in on any of them. I haven't played Skyrim. I haven't played Fallout. I just haven't played them. So Starfield caught my attention because it actually looks like something I'm actually interested in playing. That's it. So here we go. We're gonna watch Starfield.
Constellation Starship Frontier. We have you on scanners. Performing remote systems check. Helium-3 tanks check. Seals are intact. We are still go.
Cargo Serenity.
They say the wonder is not that the field of stars is so vast, but that we have measured it. You're part of Constellation now, part of our family. What you've found, it's the key to unlocking everything.
We reach your constellation.
This is all we've been working towards.
Jemison route looks good.
We've come to the beginning of humanity's final journey.
Prepare for departure. Graviton loop array full check. Your space lane is clear.
That's why we're here.
Main engines go. Ignition.
To discover what's out there.
Good luck, Constellation. You are go for launch.
Right? Like I'm not crazy for wanting to play that.
No, no, dude. That looks fucking rad.
And
That looks so rad.
it looks so what I think I'm most interested in with oh yeah, here we go. Um with Starfield is that it seems like it's sort of like hard sci-fi ish, right? Like it's obviously not going to be hard sci-fi because it's going to have something that isn't real that's making interstellar travel or some bullshit possible. So it's not super hardcore like by the science. Almost nothing is right. There's just nothing that's going to be hard sci-fi, but it's in that vein where it's like yeah, there's spacesuits, yeah, there's like thrusters. There's a spark that gets the engine going. Like that's
Like some
cool,
form of
man.
practicality.
Yeah, it
Like
looks real. It looks cool. It looks fun. Like
the practicality of applications in science games that are sci-fi, but when you see them happening and you're like, oh, that kind of looks like how blah
I
blah
would
blah.
imagine,
Like
it
the
looks like how I would imagine like actual space would be. It's not like, yeah, you can go out in like a t-shirt and a helmet and you're gonna be fine because you can breathe out here. It's fine. It's totally cool, man. Don't even worry about it. I took my helmet off. It's oxygen. Who knew? Aliens, Prometheus, sons of bitches. All right, I'll go off that trail on a separate time. But this one, I mean, I'm just
back to next week's
genuinely,
episode where
yeah,
Aaron gets pissed about space.
space, sons of bitches.
Space, the stupid frontier.
You dumb bastards! You're just gonna get yourselves killed. But I'm just interested in this game because I think it looks fun. It looks cool. I don't know how fun it's gonna be. I have no idea what the
So
gameplay aspect of the game is going to be. I just expect it's going to be another Bethesda creation, which means it's going to be something first person and it's going to be something super hyper detailed RPG.
yeah, the
That's all I care.
potential the
Everything else doesn't
potential that
matter.
is there the potential is there has definitely got me short breath. And I say that because I have played a very good chunk of Star Citizen. We've played that with our buddies Cam 11 Bravo, Point Break has been on it a couple times, Voight has been on it a couple times, and it's pretty dope. Like they added a couple of missions in there where you're bounty hunting down pirates, you're transferring cargo, you're doing your space trucker 1995 movie, just getting shit around.
Hmm.
Then they added a couple of there's a cruise ship that's in the game. There's a mission where it gets taken over by, for all intents and purposes, Reaver is what it is. It's the Reavers of the Star Citizen universe, and the cruise ship gets taken over. You arrive, you have to kill their spaceships, and then clear everybody out of the ship, and it's super rad, super super rad. But the game is still being worked on. It is still being There's a lot of work that's still going into it, and it's as fun as it can be. It is extremely buggy, and you could tell that there is a decent sized camp that's working on it because there's so much that they still need to work on.
Right.
For as much as and this was a game that got announced. God, man, I think this game's been out. I think Star Citizen has been being out and worked on for, I'm going to venture to say, maybe 10 years.
Jesus.
I would say 10 years, and it's still as buggy as it is, and it's brutal because even 10 years old, we were still playing the shit out of it and enjoying it. But
But
I
it's
have a
still
very
not
good,
done.
but I have a very good feeling that I think this could potentially be. Now, this is, if it's a multiplayer game or a single player, whatever that is, Starfield could be the game that either makes or breaks Star Citizen. That's either going to tell everybody in the Star Citizen camp we either just pack up shop and be done with it, or we need to get our asses in gear and start,
Get some
making
damn
this
money and make this a
making this
thing.
thing. Because I gotta tell you, it's like some of the stuff you can do in Star Citizen is pretty rad. Like you can buy ships that have like illegal smuggling compartments, so you could actually
Yeah, that's cool.
smuggle like illegal goods or hide. It's a so you have that in there. Then you can like mine asteroid fields. You go to an asteroid field and you have to like be careful of like what you're mining because you're using like lasers to mine it, and it could blow up if you're not careful. Or there's certain elements that are only stable for like 30 minutes. So the minute you start loading it up, someone has to hey Google, put a 30-minute timer on so that our ship doesn't explode while we're transporting this stuff back. Like it's
Yeah.
rad. It is really really rad, and it's like for all the rad stuff I can say about it, there's like three or four things that are negative. Like, yeah, well, when I go to land on a planet that I could go mine this and this and this, the minute my landing gear touches down, my ship explodes and launches me out 3 star,
Yeah.
3 solar systems over, and it's like it's nuts, dude. But it's just definitely like I said, it's a small camp, which sucks. But with Bethesda, it doesn't matter. Like Fallout 76, sure, was a launch nightmare and it has its problems and it's a pain, but it's Fallout multiplayer that looks dope.
Yeah.
It looks cool. It has cool story. You know, the NPCs can come sometimes be annoying, but you're doing Fallout missions with your buddy. Like that is so rad. Fallout, yes. Fallout 76, yes. Annoying turd, sure. Bethesda,
Annoying turd.
there's the quote of the week. But Bethesda, they know what they're doing. They know as far as like, here's what we want to do. Here's how. Because here, I'll tell you right now. You can say what you want about Fallout 76. They made exactly what they said they were going to make. It just wasn't received well. They said they were going to do it, and they did it, and it just was not received well. So,
Right.
you know, like I said, say what you will about it. They deliver on what they're doing. Starfield, being someone that's played Star Citizen, being somebody that is absolutely absorbed sci-fi since the years since I first started walking, essentially, this looks really rad.
Yeah. And I'm starting to just flip through the so this is from inverse.com. Don't mind the random ads that are going to pop up through this garbage.
Ooh.
So inverse.com has a pretty good look at the concept art that's coming from it. And yeah, it legit is like Bethesda's first thing that they've done in 25 years, and um, that takes it's gonna be a huge project, and they're
Yeah.
doing this. So I don't know if you noticed it in the trailer, but like it's 1 year away as of today. We are 1 year out from getting this game.
Oh my God, yeah.
They're 1 year out right now, as of today. That is probably
With
why this has
oh
dropped as of
shit,
today. So we
man.
are we are
Who
in
knows?
the midst of it right now, people. We are ready
Who
to see more and more in the coming year. They're going to be showing some. They're definitely going to be showing some gameplay, probably Q1, Q2. So we're going to be seeing this game real soon.
keep an eye out
And
for beta stuff too. Beta signups, closed beta signups.
yeah,
Like,
and we just saw this game for the first time this year. Like they have
yeah,
kept this under wraps. It has been
they kept that
just
JJ Abrams lockdown,
yeah. So
100%.
the different planets that you're going to be able to get and go to, I'm sure there's a mining aspect here that you're going to have to play with. I don't mind a mining game. I every time I play a game that has it, I end up being all right. That's cool. I like that. I like crafting. You know. Um, and like the variety of locales that we're gonna get from this, as you're seeing from the screenshots that are being or the concept art here, like you're getting a lot of different planets. It's not gonna be like 2 planets and then you're done. I think you're gonna get to really get out there and do something and see some really cool locales.
Um, that right there reminds me of something that you see in like the Fifth Element.
Hmm.
That living like because
And
so
that's
I have
like
a
a
thought.
lived-in universe.
Yeah.
That's what's important.
So Aaron, I have a thought here, real quick. So we had spoke both in This Week in Gaming and then in private. We spoke about the cycle and
Hmm.
about how good they did. Shout out to the cycle.
Shout out to
Um,
the cycle.
so we talked about how they sort of took a look at the things that people complained about with Tarkov, or the things that Tarkov can improve upon, and then just went, let's do that better.
Right.
I have a very good feeling. It was just a thought that I had while we were looking at this. I have a very good feeling that Bethesda, in doing Starfield, and this is just fingers crossed here, very, very hopeful that they went and looked at games like Star Citizen, No Man's Sky. What was the other one that came out? It was another big space exploration one. Then it was on the consoles. Oh my god, this is so bad. I can't remember. I do this as a job. Um, but
Uh,
you're gonna look at these games and go, okay, who hated what? What didn't track well? What could have been improved upon? How can we make it better? How could
Night
we
Shadow saying
build
Elite
on it?
Dangerous.
Thank you.
There it is.
There it is, right there. Actually, Elite Dangerous is still hanging out. It jumped to the PC. It jumped to the PC and made a bigger comeback there. But they look at games like that and say, what could be done better for this, and then launch with it. Because looking at this artwork right here,
Yeah.
I'm getting like Mass Effect vibes as well.
Oh,
Like
okay.
just that the universe of Mass Effect was one of the coolest, if not one of like the top 3 gaming universes of the last like 20 years
And
created.
that's another entire universe that I have yet to step into.
Oh
That
man,
I may
dude.
have to snag that
If we started
remaster
talking
that they did.
if we started talking about it, this would be a 4-hour YouTube video. This would be a 4-hour YouTube video. This would be a 6-hour stream. It
Yeah.
would be wild. But that was a universe that was built up, had a lot of inspiration from other things that have gone on, which, it just happens, it's most projects and most things, like good projects, they have reflections of modern civilization, modernized, whatever, there's things like advanced versions of it all the time. But with Mass Effect, they had the modernized universe, and inspiration and influences for a lot of their stuff. But then they had the different alien races, they had the different worlds you could explore, they had the different solar systems, they had the science fiction of how they traveled using the mass relays, they had a cool
Yeah.
story, they had cool characters. It's just
It got
it was
epic.
it did. It got so epic, and it was great to be in that universe. And it's one of those universes that the last game came out, I think, was 7 years ago, 8 years ago. 3 came out like 8 years ago, I think. And it's one of those games that you just miss the first time you played it because it's like,
Yeah.
God, I missed that. Like that was so good, and it was so
It had
fun.
the Mako.
Oh yeah, the little vehicle that you could drive around in. It was such a cool thing. Like going down to like asteroids or
Yeah.
moons and exploring those and like finding abandoned bases and not knowing what you're going to run into. Like that was cool.
And I
And
think this
seeing this concept art, it reminds me of that,
is
which
very much going to be an exploration piece to this. Finding new civilizations, finding new planets, looking at how they're living, how they're doing, what you need to help them with. Like it all feels lived in. Like it all looks pretty lived in already.
I mean, you look at what Bethesda's done with the Fallout universe. Your every decision you make affects your gameplay. That was always cool in the Fallout, in Vegas, in Boston, in Washington D.C. Like that felt cool there in these universe, in like these little worlds, as it
Yeah.
were. And I say world, I mean map. Take that and put it on an interplanetary scale now.
Yeah.
Like you go to one planet and you're doing stuff to help them and it's great. And then you show up to another one and they're like, we're going to cut your feet off
Oh.
because you helped them. And it's like, oh,
Mos
shit.
Eisley with moss. That's a good one. Nice. Yeah.
I like
And
I like that
that's
that
what it
screenshot
feels
right
like,
there. I
right?
like.
You're just like getting to a point where it's like, yeah, and that's what sort of is being shown here is like all of these are part of the same universe, but they're also different places that have their own style, that have their own way of living because they are literally in a new planet with a different habitat. And they're showing that like this one here where it's like everything is up against a walled city because this place is obviously has like these crazy uh terrain features that they're fitting into as part of their civilization. You're also, you know, and it seems like what Inverse is kind of inferring here is that you're gonna have to kind of keep your ship in working order. So that is going to be a part of
I
your
noticed that
gameplay.
the
Like
bucket of bolts thing right there, like
your
that,
your mech coming in and helping keep things together, like that's probably going to be some sort of a companion in this game. Like I
or
think
something you have to jump into a vehicle.
like there's just so many pieces to the concept art that they're showing that are very chosen. They are choosing these very
Yep.
specific pieces to show you a set of images that are going to give you some idea what they're going for in this. And there's going to be some like hints and Easter eggs that we're going to like go back to next year after we played this game and be like, "Oh, you sons of
Oh,
bitches,
that's what it
you
was.
sons
Yep.
of bitches hid that a
You
year ago,
fucking got
and we had
me.
no idea." I just want to take a second to say thank you to Shivering Wolf for subscribing yet again for 8
Whoa.
months. That's 8 months in a row, ladies and gentlemen. And he says,
Woofy.
"What's up, boy?"
Boy.
Thank you for the sub. But
Cheers,
we're
Wolf. Job, bud.
we're really genuinely like getting glimpses at stuff that we are going to see in the game and be like, "Oh yeah, I remember when they made that." That's going to be incredible to see. I think this is a really cool universe to build out of, and like in that little sort of acts like almost hard sci-fi way that they're doing it is really cool because it's near future, but it's future.
You know
Like,
what I just realized something by looking at that photo. The bucket of bolts photo just gave me like Mandalorian vibes for one.
yeah,
Like
that
that just gave me like
Western
some
space
that
Western.
west, but it also like that Western got to repair your stuff on the go, keep working
Yeah,
feel. And then you see this shot of the repair shop, and it's like, huh,
yep,
like yeah. I mean, you said it, like they're choosing, like they are. What is gonna hit? People love Star Trek. People love Star Wars. People love Mass Effect. Why not just put it all in there? You know what? You son of a bitch, I'm in.
yeah.
Like
I
that.
thoroughly in on the direction they're taking this already.
Mhm. Even that suit looks not totally futuristic, but it totally looks like something that is practical. Like the practical applications that you get in game, in practical applications of stuff that's not real. You're playing a video game in a universe that is not quote unquote, real yet.
Yeah,
But I say real yet because it's like, you know what? That could work. You look at it and you're like, I could see that being a thing. I could see that having some actual practicality to
yeah,
it. And it's cool that they're doing it.
and
And doing
and
it so well.
and they just get cooler as you go. And I'm sure that all of
Yeah.
these are going to be things that you can pick off people and
Does that say scum and villainy?
yeah. So Inverse is going hard on the Star Wars connection here, but I
Love it.
think and I got that same feel from a piece of that concept art, like the lived in settlement piece. Definitely gave off
Moss
that
Isley with Moss.
Yeah, it gave off that Star Wars vibe. And yeah, I think in general, I'm really interested in what they're gonna do with this, and it's gonna be fun to see where it goes over the next year. And we're gonna probably get some um, pretty early looks. I would say I would expect to see a lot more come uh, Q1, maybe early Q2. We'll get a big in-depth look at what the gameplay actually looks like.
I think depending on how everything goes after this,
Yeah,
it's probably going to be if you know what, if it's quarter 2, I'd be surprised. I'd be very very surprised. Everything from that trailer and everything from the traction. I mean, like I said, Todd Howard was was doing an AMA on Reddit, and the only thing that everybody was like, "Tell us about Starfield.
yeah.
Tell us about Starfield.
Please
I don't want to
Starfield.
know anything else about but Starfield.
Please Starfield.
Why aren't you talking about Starfield? I don't give a shit about a spear gun in Fallout 4.
Hmm.
Tell me about Starfield." Like that was all everybody wanted. At this point, it's almost like you have to. It's like you need, especially like I said, with games like Star Citizen, No Man's Sky. They're polishing up their stuff. It's like you know at this point you have to be able to go. Oh, these games right there, those are for peasants. This is come.
This
Daddy's
one.
got you.
This
Come
one
here.
now.
This is what we've got. And it's like they. I guess I'm saying that kind of one of those things where it's like, hey Todd, make sure you give us something quarter 1. I know that Matt on my channel has taken some shots at you every once in a while, but hey, we're cool, man.
No, we're good.
Todd,
We
Todd,
good.
Todd, we're
We
cool.
good.
Todd, we cool, man. You have some of the coolest leather jackets, dude. Let's do this.
Yeah. Yeah. It
I'm
just
excited. I'm very, very
I think it's
excited,
cool to
man.
see this level of detail coming from a brand new
Yes.
space sci-fi universe. So
Bro, and it's Bethesda, man.
yeah,
Bethesda
and it's
does
Bethesda. They
cool
just do
stuff.
this well. They just
They
do this
do
thing
cool
good.
shit.
They do it very good. I haven't, and I. This is coming from somebody that, again, I haven't played any of these games. I haven't really gotten too deep into anything Bethesda really. I like got Skyrim and played like maybe an hour, 2 hours of Skyrim, and then I was like, okay, cool. And then I went and
You
played
you
Battlefield
are.
4 for 6 more months.
I would never recommend. We talked about with New World. I would never recommend anything to you that doesn't have modern warfare stuff
Mm.
or spaceships.
Yeah,
I know better.
yeah. If it's got spaceships, I'm probably in.
Spaceships or spacesuits or Xenos.
Yep. Yeah.
Don't
Or a
I know
mix of
better.
like the real versus the sci-fi. Like that. If it's not those two things, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here.
100%.
You have any breath between Modern Warfare and Warhammer 40,000, I'm probably in. Everything before that, I don't know, man. Maybe.
Yeah, I would never. Watching it would actually be like suggesting to you to go play with two sticks and a rock. Hey, you got this really badass game PC, dude. Check out modded Skyrim. No,
Yeah.
but
No,
you no
I don't care.
no unless the mod lets me have lightsabers and a speeder bike. I'm not in.
Yeah.
Even
Is
then,
this Star
pushing
Wars?
it.
No, I don't care.
No, I don't care about it.
Yeah.
Is it
Is this?
spaceship?
Yeah, I don't care.
Can I be a bounty hunter? Can I live out? Oh man, I just had
Yeah.
a thought. When this game comes out, we're gonna have to cosplay Mando Bros.
Mando Bros.
Mando Bros.
Mando Bros.
Mando Bros. It's gonna be so. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I was excited when we started talking about it, and I was excited at everything that was ahead of us, and we were looking at just little stuff on Google and all that. But
Yeah.
man, just everything that is everything that could be with this game, everything like the possibilities of it all
Yeah,
is just
and
oh,
it's I mean, Night Shadow brings up a good point. Like they kind of have to go all out, or who's actually going to check it out? Like
he's 100% right.
there's
If
a
they
bunch
don't,
of games that are trying to do this,
yep,
but if Bethesda doesn't Bethesda,
yep, that
who's
is a
actually going to check out a game called Starfield?
great way to put it. If they don't Bethesda the shit out of this,
And they have to. They literally have to Bethesda this
yeah,
because
there's
it is Bethesda, first off. If they don't do what everybody expects of them and make Skyrim in space, which is a game that is going to be iconic for the next 20 years.
Skyrim's never going away. Skyrim is never going away. I hope people understand that.
they
They're gonna
need to
keep
make that
modding.
in space.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, dude. Like, cause
So,
Skyrim, I am a huge consumer of sci-fi and fantasy. Roll them together, give them to me in individual servings. I don't care. I'll do it. I remember the first time that I dove into Skyrim and like that first level where Alduin shows up, the main dragon shows up, and it's like, holy shit, like this is fucking rad. The first dragon fight that I ever did in Skyrim, I'll never forget, dude. It was as epic as that statement alone, my first dragon fight.
yeah.
Like it rings. Like it was so fucking cool, and they just need to be able to do that again. Like in my brain, I envision us in a ship landing, and then like landing. It's like, hey, let's go check out this mine, and
And
then something just jumps out at us, and then we're just running, screaming because all we did was like the equivalent to like a knife run.
yeah.
We just brought like picks and like a pistol, and that's it,
And no
and,
and to
and we're fucked.
respond to Night Shadow here is like nobody I don't think anybody's expecting them to just make Skyrim in space. I think that level of game is
Yeah, it's
what
not
we're
yeah,
expecting. Is like
yeah,
that
not
level of
actual
like
Skyrim.
we just want them to do the polish that we know Bethesda does
The
or is possible
detail,
of. Not that
yeah,
they do, but that they are capable of doing.
yeah. They've done it before. They've done it before. It can definitely be done
They need to pull
again.
out all the stops on a brand new IP like they've never done before because this is a really weird gaming space to be in right now and they have to
Yes,
really go for it because they fucked up so royally with 76.
I mean, you look at you look at everything that's on the docket to be coming out over the course of the next year. You got Battlefield 2142 coming out, or 2042 coming out tonight.
Tonight.
That game is gonna be relevant for the next 4 years. I
I
think
mean,
it's just gonna. We've talked about it. I'm pretty sure 2042 is gonna stay that game for the next just 3-4 years. It just will. When did Modern Warfare the reboot come out 3 years ago now,
yeah.
and it's still there. I think 2042 is going to be that game. 2042's first year is going to be a huge deal. You have no, the cycle coming out in you know quarter one, quarter two. That game's going to be coming out, and that's going to be something that's going to be interesting. You've got all this stuff coming out for Escape from Tarkov, 2 new maps, possibly Modern Warfare 2. You have all of these things that are coming out within the next year. And yes, Bethesda is still living in the shadow of Fallout 76. They need to work very, very, very hard to get out from underneath that shadow
And
and just put it somewhere away and be done with it.
to their
And let
credit,
that dog lie.
I mean, getting purchased or at least selling to Xbox, I think they get there. I think
Oh,
they get
agreed.
there with that money, with that level of like backing and that level of creative freedom. And after hearing, the Xbox, uh, basically, I forget his exact name, but like he's the Xbox Studio creative head. Like he's the studio head of Xbox Creative, and they are straight up like just like if you guys need something, let me know. If you need a whole other studio to fucking work on your game, I'll get it for you. Like
Yeah,
we
they're
will make it
they're
happen. And this is the studio that's going to ask for the things that they need, and they're the
yep.
ones that are going to get it because they're Bethesda. They're
They're
gonna they're gonna
doing
have like the other big studios
yeah.
working for them.
Bethesda's doing essentially what Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios did when they got bought by Disney. Like, you know, Bob Iger said, "You guys, here's a checkbook with a little Mickey Mouse head on it. Here's the checkbook. They're already pre-signed with my name. You guys do what you need to do." 12 years later, we have all these Marvel movies, and they did exactly what they needed to do. They worked with who they needed to work with. They did all this stuff. Not only did they do that, but they inspired a lot of cool projects. John Favreau, Mandalorian.
John
Love you guys.
Favreau,
You guys did a fucking
Dave
great job with
Filoni.
that shit. Anyway, but I mean, I use that as an example. Say what you will about what Disney does. Say what you will about, oh, do we need more? But here's the deal: they made so much money, it makes me sick
Yeah,
because they took a company. Think about it. They did Iron Man. The first Iron Man was done.
and that's what basically Shivering is saying right now. He's like, yeah, but Kevin and John both proved themselves
Yeah,
with
hundred
Iron Man.
percent. Uh huh.
They they
Like they.
they showed what they could do,
Yep. But that Bethesda's done that as well.
and Bethesda has
However,
done that. They screwed the pooch in the
couldn't
last
stay.
one,
Yep. Hey,
but they
you had
have
you,
the
you
creative
had Thor.
pedigree.
You had Thor, Dark World.
Yeah,
You had your
you
Captain
had your
Marvels.
Thor Dark World, you had your Hulk movies. Now you can pull it all together and make something good again.
That's what
Let's
I'm
get
saying. Is
let's
that
get your shit together, guys. Get it in a backpack, put it all
that
together.
that's what I'm saying. Is that that happens. It does happen. But in that same hand, Disney was pretty much going, here's the deal, Marvel Studios, you guys do your deal. Here's your checkbook. Let
Uh,
us know.
and
Let us know so we can move some money over there for you to use it essentially.
and to
And
be
that's exactly what's happening with Bethesda and Xbox and
yeah,
Microsoft. Like that's exactly what's happening. And that is fucking great because I mean Aaron said it, and I'm gonna piggyback off what he said here.
oh,
I could hear Wolf already having an aneurysm with me saying that out loud. But that is 100% what is going to happen with this scenario here. I think that's what's going to make it fucking great. Here's what Microsoft does very, very well. Microsoft goes, what do you guys need? What do you guys want to do? Okay, go ahead and do it. Okay, oh, you need this? No problem. I got you. They know they're going to get their money back on it. They know they're going to have something that's going to pop up that's going to be absolutely fucking incredible.
Because what does Bethesda do best? New IPs.
And fantasy,
So,
sci-fi fantasy.
I think we are just gonna be watching this one for a bit. And
I'm paying very, very close attention to this, and specifically for, like I said, stuff having to do with, closed betas, alphas. Like, I want to know very much what's happening with this game. So, like, I need it in my life, and I want more of it.
yeah,
100%.
I'm
I'm excited for
excited,
that.
and I think it's gonna be something to be watched. Keep your eyes peeled for any information coming from that in the future because it's gonna be good. But to really get to the core of the matter,
Oof.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have early access unlocking in the morning for all of us, and I
Big
don't
city cat.
fully know how to comprehend the fact that this game is finally launched.
It's here.
It's
Can I ask you a
here.
question, Aaron? Can I ask you a question, Aaron?
Yes.
You okay?
I'm tucking it in the waistband right now, bud.
Okay, can you feel your left arm?
I'm kind of losing feeling, but it's cool. It's cool. It's
Okay.
cool.
All right. All right. All right.
It's fine. It's
Somewhere,
fine.
somewhere between having a massive erection and an even more massive stroke, right in that zone, right there. It's
Just right in between, right in
yeah.
there. It's right up in there.
Canadian belt buckles and Forrest Whitaker eyes. It's happening.
At least it's not an Alabama belt buckle, so we're all right. So let's just get over to
Whew.
talking about Jesus Christ. I'm just like
What we thought we were originally here for,
Yeah.
what we thought we were first going to be here for the whole time, actually turned out we're splitting really good down the middle.
Just right down the middle on this one today, boys and girls. We genuinely weren't expecting to go that long on Starfield, but like it turns out like we just really are hyped for that game now.
Well, seeing the potential and like seeing the artwork and then discussing potentials of our own, what we envision and what we could see, and
Yeah.
talking about Bethesda's past, their projects and everything. It's like it just kind of leads into, it gets your hopes up, but also kind of one of those things where your imagination peaks. And so, I mean, but look, they did it again. They did it again. Look at them go.
I thought I'd be able to just pull this up, but it's been a pain in the ass, so I'm just having to do it the hard way.
There you go.
Let me.
Microsoft wants stuff to succeed. They do. Yeah, Shadow is 100% right. Microsoft, they want things to do well. They're kind of in the same thread with Bethesda. Whatever Bethesda says they're going to do, they just do it. They get it done, and it they get it going, and it's just they do exactly what they say they're going to do every time. Jamie, pull that up. Yeah, we need an intern.
Yeah, we
Halo,
totally
or
need like an intern right now. Yeah, it's just, yeah, I didn't know I was gonna be excited about that entire brand
yeah,
new.
I didn't know that hype was gonna hit me as hard as it did.
It's just like
Uh,
brand new, kind of kick ass game that's gonna be coming out. I'm like, yeah, I just wasn't expecting it, and now that it's on the horizons, I'm like, oh shit, okay, I'm here for it. I'm totally down. Let's find out what's happening. So Battlefield is launching tomorrow, and I don't think I've been so fucking excited about a Battlefield game in.
open world space game, do that. Ooh, man, Battlefield.
Yeah. So
Oof.
we get Battlefield multiplayer back. It feels like Battlefield. It is giving us Portal, which is a reminder we're getting reimagined 1942, Bad Company 2, and Battlefield 3, which I would have just taken this entire fucking game as Battlefield 3. So if that tells you where my like hype level is for the fact that we're just getting those maps back and we're getting that game, um, uh, I I straight up don't have the words to really fully comprehend the fact that like this game is finally launching tomorrow and we get to play it, and I in its completely messed up and buggy state. Um, I was
Ah, that was
ready for it.
brutal. That was such a brutal beta, and I hate to say it like that. I hate to sound like that, but that beta was so brutal, and I don't think that was something that was Dice's fault per se. Like I don't think they just oh whatever. I don't think they anticipated to have as much traffic as
Yeah,
they did. I don't. I think they completely. I think they were completely blindsided by all the traffic that they got on that beta, and I don't think they were prepared for it. And it's just one of those things like, all right, well, just make sure that the guns are okay, and like make sure that's good.
yeah.
The server, I think the server traffic showed up, and they were just like, well, shit, okay, get the hamster wheels out, get the fans, let's get like,
And
mm,
yeah, I think there's probably a lot of people that were actually just disappointed or like waiting to see what was going to happen, but like we were disappointed with every launch to do with Battlefield since Battlefield 3.
yep,
Like
they were all
I don't
brutal.
think you're wrong to wait to pick this game up. I think
No, God
you
no.
are totally in the right to see like, hey, is it gonna be the thing?
It,
Hey,
cons-
am I actually gonna be able to play this fucking game? Because
yeah,
Battlefield 5, I couldn't even play it when it fucking launched. Um, hey, am I gonna like some of the features that they're doing with this? Yeah, I don't know. You might want to check that out because in again Battlefield 1, it might not be your gameplay style. Like for me, Battlefield 1 wasn't my gameplay style. Battlefield 5, it was completely messed up from inception. I thought Battlefield 5 was going to fix a lot of the problems that we were having um, in terms of how the game was being presented to us.
mm,
And then I just, you know, I didn't get that reaction from it. I You should not buy Battlefield 5. You should probably play Battlefield 1 because it is actually kind of fun.
very
Battlefield
sporadic.
4 was not disappointing, but the launch was buggy as hell.
It fell short compared to what we discussed last week, and that was that peak Battlefield was Battlefield
Battlefield 3,
3.
every time.
Battlefield
Peak
Battlefield
Battlefield is
3.
always Battlefield 3 to me,
Mm-hmm.
and to a lot of other people around the Battlefield verse. Uh, Battlefield 3 was the game, and they went back to that as the core of what Battlefield 2042 plays like.
Mm-hmm.
They added a slide, pissed a bunch of people off. I don't give a shit. Don't use the slide if you don't like the slide. If you're mad about slides, be mad at Call of Duty for adding a slide that made everybody
For
want to add a
making for
slide.
making that a
Or
staple now.
Apex, I'm sorry. I think it was even Apex
Yeah,
before Call of Duty did it.
yeah, they made it staples in AAA games, AAA first
So
person
like
shooters.
you get a
That's
slide. Don't use it if you don't like slides. If you don't like sliding and people kill you with a slide, learn to counteract a slide. I've talked too much about sliding at this point that I hate the fact that I've talked about sliding as much as I have. Um,
uh-huh.
Battlefield 4 was great. I just didn't like the maps as much because they didn't play.
Yes.
They didn't have the same feel to them. Um, the the only maps that I really liked on Battlefield 4, you just don't really get to play anymore. And I don't even really remember what they're called anymore because I didn't play Battlefield 4 as much as I played 3. But the map that we're watching right now reminded me of like one of my favorite maps from Battlefield 4, which was that giant radio tower, um, the radio telescope from Battlefield 4. That was such a great map. And the hills were rolling, and you could kind of fight around the hills, or you could use that to your advantage to get around whatever.
You could change the entire map just by destroying the fucking satellite.
Yeah,
If you
like,
will,
and you can just
on
get
Rush
around all the things.
on Rush it came down anyway, but in like the conquest mode, you could change the entire you could change the entire fate of battle by bringing that damn thing down.
Yeah.
And
And and remember, Battlefield 3 was before everything got crazier fast paced.
yep,
So like if you're worrying about like, hey, it wasn't as chaotic, it wasn't as crazy, like it wasn't as like visceral. Nothing back in the day was.
no,
No game was nearly as fast as what we're playing today. No
no,
game.
God, no.
Not
I
a
mean,
one. I
well,
remember how slow the Call of Duty games were. I remember and Call of Duty games were close up in your face the entire time.
I
Like
think
they were
that's an
just in your teeth. And then you just weren't getting that from any of these other games.
But you look at, you look at that's I think that's industry stuff there, and I think that isn't just gaming industry. I think that's just industry as a whole. You look at look at the evolution of, vehicle production. Look at how cars used to be made. Cars were, boxes with the craziest rudimentary engines you've ever seen. And
Oof.
then they narrowed it down to they got it down to big steel body tanks that got 4 miles to the gallon. And then they ended up, every car was this sportsy, muscly looking thing. And then they started getting into the economy vehicles and then, the smart cars. Like everything changes. Nothing is ever the way that it was years ago. Everything is always moving forward. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. With video games, I think it's that times 10, in my opinion, because everything advances and changes really fast. And I think the pace and speed of things, including gameplay, that changes as well. You look at, what Aaron was saying with how games played a couple years ago, even. I'm talking 4 or 5 years ago, how games played. And then you look at them now, and it doesn't matter what you were playing on, PC,
It
console.
didn't matter.
It didn't matter. Just the way these games were paced, the
Yep.
way engines
It was
ran,
the
the
way
way
that
that
your character moved in space.
yep,
When
it was
Battlefield 3 introduced the jump over terrain feature with a button, it was revolutionary. It felt like it sped up everything 1,000-fold. And it was still extremely slow compared to what we're playing right now. These
it's just
games are so fast and they're so chaotic and they're so crazy. And yeah, like you have those old school games that were running on like more rudimentary stuff, like Quake, that were playing a lot faster. And
mm,
he's like highlighting his message, Shivering Wolf. Quake was the first game of Twitch shooters, strictly PC game that didn't have
notice
port for
me.
years. And yeah, and again, like I didn't get to play a lot of Quake because I didn't have a PC
Same.
on its when it's on its pedestal of like the biggest game out there. Like I just wasn't playing that
You
game.
know what? Just real quick to interrupt you here. Don't forget there was a point in time where companies would have IPs and they would make two versions of the game.
Straight up two versions.
There
Not even
was
remotely close to each other.
no, just same title. There were multiple versions of Quake. There was a version on the PC, the original one, and then they made a version for consoles. They made a version for the Nintendo systems.
Yeah, Counter
Like
Strike is a
there,
big
yeah, it's
the
another
one
one.
of the biggest examples of that. The Counter Strike on the Xbox was absolute garbage.
Yep, Battlefield did that.
I had that fucking game and it
Yep.
was trash. I'm glad I didn't pay any money for it, but I had it. It was
Mhm.
garbage.
You looked. Battlefield had the same thing. Like there were like when Battlefield made the jump to it's because it was just called Battlefield. On the PC, the first modern combat installment for Battlefield was just called Battlefield, and that
I
was
don't
rad.
remember
It
that.
was
I don't even remember that one.
so there was Battlefield, and then there was Battlefield 2,
Yep.
and it was like a special forces like DLC deal, and it was all just spec ops stuff, nods and IR lasers and halo jumping and ospreys and just crazy like spec ops missions in North Korea and Russia and all
Rainbow
that.
Six at home.
So there was that. And then for the console, they had Battlefield Modern Combat, and it took place in the same universe. You were just in a separate theater while everything in the PC universe was going on, and that's how they did it. So there was a time where IPs were not able to go, okay, here's the game. It's going to be out for Xbox, PlayStation, cell phones, PC, Stadia, Steam, whatever.
Yeah.
There was go, hey, here's Battlefield. Here's a version for the console. Here's a version for the Nintendo. Here's a version
Right.
for the PC. Like, that was how games were designed, and that's how games worked. Now it's here it is. Here's a game. Make it work on fucking everything.
Yeah. Here's the specs on what you can actually do for making the game run smoothly on this
Yep.
system now. Here's the specs for how you can do a performance mode. Here's a pretty mode. Here it is on the goddamn Switch. Like that's all they're doing now. It's just based on your hardware. They're not basing it on anything other than like here's the graphical suggestions that we have for what you think you should play it. That's it. Yeah, those old school games are just garbage.
Yep.
And now we have
Little
crossplay. Now
rough.
we're playing the same game against people on Xbox and PlayStation.
If you would have told
And
me
I feel
5
bad
if
for
you
those poor
poor
bastards.
bastards. If you'd have told me 5 years ago that the fourth generation of gaming consoles were going to be cross playing with PC gaming, I would have said that's a good idea, but I don't know how they made that work. I'll be 100% honest. I would have not envisioned that happening as well as it has been. And I say as well because, you know, user experience may vary. Experiences may vary. I mean, that's just how it is. It doesn't matter. Oh, this game is cross-platform.
Right.
If you're on fucking DSL internet, you're not going to connect with your buddy who's got fiber. Like it's definitely like personal, you know, capabilities and restrictions, sure. But the principle of the whole thing is that crossplay is real.
Crossplay is real and it's kind of great, and it kind of just
It's kind of
opens up
awesome.
gaming again.
Like that is rad.
But yeah, they may have aim assists, Night Shadow, but like when you're on PC, like you just have turn ability. You have turn, you have control, you have all of the things that like they just kind of like are stumbling through, and
You have the ability to customize everything in front of you however you want it. Like think
yeah,
about, for console players, it is fucking 7 or 8 buttons, 2 sticks and a
and
D-pad.
that's it.
And that's it. You got to make that work for you.
Yeah,
You can have all sorts of fucking key customization. You have a
yeah,
mouse with 11 keys on it if you want. You could have pedals that do things for you. Like the ability of customization, the ability of moderation that you can do it's modularity, excuse me, is it's just wild to me. And the fact that those two worlds are now able to meet is so cool. It's so cool.
yeah,
Like this is gaming. This is where we're going, people. Like, to infinity and beyond. All right. Like this is gonna be great.
yeah.
Like it's here.
I'm really excited about crossplay in general because I always hated the fact that like not nobody I knew, but like a lot of people that I knew that were gamers were on a separate system from me because I wanted to play specific games, or
Yep.
I wanted to play with specific people for certain games
Mhm.
that I knew were on certain systems. So like I would buy into that system, or I would buy into that game based on system it was on.
Mhm.
So that we're getting that as a just normal feature for most AAA games at this point that are multiplayer games. Like I'm really excited about that. Just to bring up some more points that are being brought up. So Quake didn't get traction for years for console play, and as it came to the consoles, COD and Battlefield changed their games to match the speed, the pace, and the matchmaking. And that is 100% probably true. I have no
100% true.
idea, but that
Yeah.
sounds
No.
that sounds about
Yeah.
like what happens. Basically, they were like, "Oh wait,
That
this
was.
game is actually one of the bigger games, so we gotta kind of match that up."
Yep.
Um, Night Shadow's like talking back to um, the point of changing up your buttons and everything. Till they let you do button modifiers on console, which they do allow you to do for a lot of games. But some
So yeah,
games
a lot are out there now. Yeah,
some games
but
still don't allow that to happen. For a
well,
lot of
I
the
think
accessibility stuff, like the stuff
yes.
for people that are you know maybe disabled or not able to play in the same way because they're whatever is going on with them, like they are getting better about making sure to allow changes to controllers, changes to button layouts, changes to how you are actually able to play that game. So we will see more and more of that moving forward because that is becoming more of a focus for a lot of studios. So
Mhm.
it's still it still limits you to a very set amount of buttons, um, and you're not going to get the Tarkov on console. It's not going to happen.
No,
You're not going to
you
get
know
those.
what?
You're not going to get those things where you like are leaning a corner. You're changing the whatever reticle on your rifle. Like those things aren't going to happen in a console setting. Where
No, sadly,
if
you
those
can't. You
controls
can't.
exist in a game, you are just not going to get them on the console. You're going to
You're
get
not
them
gonna
on
be
the
able to.
PC version.
You're not gonna be able to squeeze that into a controller. It's just not gonna happen.
And I
You
get
know,
that a
it's
lot of
just
those
no
people
way.
aren't going to be playing Tarkovs anyway because that's not the game that they're buying in on a console. But like those that if there is that level of customization in a PC game,
Yeah.
which there kind of is in something like a Battlefield,
Hmm.
you're just not going to get that on the console version. So
Right. Yeah. No. Absolutely. And it's just he brought up a good point too. Like I'm in a vehicle, switches to flight stick.
exactly.
Hey, Arma, that's a big one. Arma's a big one for that. And I think one of the coolest demos, and it turned out a lot of people play it that way. Like there's a lot of people, like we were talking about Starfield. Star Citizen, there are a lot of people that know the potential that Star Citizen has. There's a guy in Northern California. He has no exaggeration. It's like a $15,000 computer setup just for Star Citizen. And his desk is multi-layered. His lower desk has a keyboard and a mouse and a huge like mouse pad. And then the level that goes up above that he can put his hands up to, it is total flight board control. Looks like something you could take over a fucking Apache helicopter with.
Yeah.
His hands go up. He's got two sticks on there. He's got pedals. He's got the board in front of him for flight ignition, shields, missiles, locking. It's just, and he flipped between the two, no problem.
Yeah.
That type of modularity is most definitely something you're only going to see on PC. And for certain, for games, something like Star Citizen, something like Arma, something, Starfield possibly, those are games that you want to be that involved in, you want to be able to immerse yourself that much. That's a choice that you're going to make. On console, you know exactly what you're getting. Here's the game, here's my controller, where's my fucking couch so I can get the gamer knees going, leaning forward,
The old hunch.
elbows on knees. Yeah, exactly. Like you know what you're getting with that. And I think that's the thing that's nice about it is people talk about, PC gaming especially, like, oh, there's so much you can do, and it's like there's a lot you can do as well, with consoles. I mean, you know what you want. Everybody knows exactly what they want. You mentioned stuff about PC because there were games that you wanted to play and things you wanted to, interact with as far as gaming goes. You knew what you wanted to do with that one. Console, it's the same deal. It's kind of, what boat do you want to be in type deal. You want to
Yeah.
be in a speedboat or do you want to be something you could just fish out of? Do your deal. It's fine. Like you do what you want to do. The choice is 100% up to you. Whether you want to have a $700 console, whether you want to have a $4,000 PC, whether you want to have a $15,000 flight simulator first person shooter platform, you do what you want to do. And I think more companies are noticing that and they're going, "You know what? This dude, this guy works at a fucking steel factory and makes $30 an hour. His buddy, has a couple of kids, also works at a steel factory, doesn't make that much money because of the kids. So he only plays on a console. His boy plays on PC. They're friends. They both play a game. Let's do something where they can interact. Boom, here's your crossplay.
Yep.
There's your common thread. Gamers are gamers. Let's give everybody a playground they can play on. The world of crossplay is here. The
Yeah.
future is beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it goes. I mean,
Skynet.
that goes to as much shit as we talk about Fortnite in general, like the fact that you can play Fortnite with people that are on a fucking phone.
Yeah, that too. I mean that.
I
Yeah,
mean, that's such a big piece of
always
the puzzle. Like
fun.
they made crossplay like actually like important
Yeah,
for a lot of companies very
yeah.
quickly because they
Let's
became
let's get something.
huge and everybody paid attention to what they were doing. They were doing Battle Pass and they were doing crossplay,
Yep.
and everybody paid attention
Saw it.
to that.
Everybody saw it. Let's get something straight though. Always, always take the piss out of Fortnite.
Always
Always,
take the piss.
always.
Always take the
But
piss.
he's 1,000% right. They saw what they were doing and they went, "How do we do this?
How
Like,
do we do
look at
this
what
but
they're doing.
cool?
Like
How
they
do we
have
do this but like with a good game?
and everybody they're picking up on it. I mean, you
Yeah.
look at all the. Do you hear about a game title? What are the first two questions you ask when you hear about a game title? Aaron, go.
Do they have crossplay?
And
And is there a battle pass? That's it. That's it.
so
And anybody that tries to get around a battle pass is fooling themselves if they're trying to do a live service game. They're fooling
Mhm.
themselves. That is currently the best model for making any kind of money in a game and making it so that people keep coming back over and over, season to season, year to or month to month, year to year. So
Yep.
those are what you're looking for. And yeah, is it free?
Yeah,
Am I
that's
going to be
another one.
paying?
That's another one
Am I going to be paying $50
for a
for
pass.
this to be then paying for a battle pass, or am I getting a free game that I'm going to pay $10 for a battle pass for some cosmetics that don't actually matter in the game? So,
But it's cool to me.
but it's cool and it's fun. Like I'm all about cosmetics in a game at this point. Like when I
100%.
first heard about DLC from what was it? Was it Skyrim? First DLC that you paid for a horse armor?
Ah, yes.
That was like the first one. When I first heard about that, I was like, yeah, it's kind of dumb, but okay. And then now we're
I
like,
bought that.
yeah, okay.
I bought that shit. I'll tell you that right
So
now. I did. Yeah, that was wild, man.
it's like
It's like
Little Caesars. Is it good? It's hot and ready, but is it good? Doesn't matter. It's hot and ready.
no, exactly. I mean, but yeah, I mean
And
those are
that's
the
what
those
most gamers are actually looking for. They don't really care. They just want to be able to play something and then play with their friends and then also just kind of have a kind of fun time doing it. They don't really care half the time if it's even good. They just know that they have friends that play it and
it
they
does yeah, it
want to
doesn't
jump in
matter
and have some fun.
if I get to take the piss out of something and laugh at it and, you know, doing stuff with your buddies is always fucking fun. Like
Yeah.
it's always a good time. Co-op gameplay is fun, playing with your friends like being able to share things with your buddies as far as like gaming and like movies and nerd shit. That's always fun.
And
That's always a good fucking
to that very specific point of being able to share something with your buddies, being able to share Battlefield 3 again through Battlefield Portal with my buddies that I'm playing games with now is going to be such a different and extremely
Mm.
fun experience because those maps are like my core happy place. That is
Yep.
where I'm happiest, is going through those maps and relearning and replaying and just re-experiencing all of that insanity that's going to happen because
Yep.
we're not getting Battlefield 3 ported to Battlefield 2042. We're getting Battlefield 2042's gameplay is what I'm expecting. I have
Yep.
no idea. Don't quote me on
Mm-hmm.
this. I have no idea, but my expectation is that we're getting Battlefield 2042 and all of the modernness
Yep.
wrapped up in Battlefield 3 maps and core gameplay um, mechanics. So you're going to get your classes, you're going to get your maps. Like those are the core things that I am expecting to come from. Yeah, so I just like I'm excited about Portal. I'm excited about Hazard Zone. I'm excited about playing the core of Battlefield 2042, but like to me 2042's core gameplay
Mm-hmm.
is not the most important piece of the puzzle anymore.
No.
It is not at all. It is totally about playing those old school and community maps. Like the community stuff is going to be insane and fun. And then also we get Hazard Zone, which is going to be just a fun,
I'm so interested in that.
intensely.
I
So I haven't
oh,
actually watched. So I saw that Stone Mountain had like a preview of the Hazard Zone that he got to play. Like he had an early access that he was able to play, and I haven't actually gone in and watched it yet because I'm like, do I want to watch that or do I want to like experience that thing for myself for the first time because it's a brand new Battlefield thing? So we'll see, and I think I'm very interested in seeing what they do with it, but also like uh yeah, I'm just like worked up because I just want to go play it. I'm like getting like worked up as I'm talking about the game because I'm like, oh, I want to play this, I want to play this, I want to play this, I want to play
2
this though,
hours.
but also I want to go play this thing, and then I want to play this thing. So
Yep.
it
2
all in
hours
all,
here.
yeah. You get early access starting as of the morning, um,
I believe
just
that's a
across
certain
the board.
is it across the board? I thought it was a certain edition that you're able to get access to now.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I apologize. It is certain editions of Battlefield 20. God damn it! All right, I'm just gonna go back to the streaming. There we go. Now I'll actually be able to pull up. So if you have the the $90 and the $110 editions of the Battlefield 2042 game. So it's like the mid level and the top level, which I was dumb enough to go ahead and pre-order because I just can't help myself. Um, it's those two editions. I don't remember what they're called off the top of my head, but it is early access as of tomorrow. And the the thing that I have for the times is like New York time. It starts at 3 a.m. So everything else past that. So in real world time, it's the 3 a.m. time. Um, I don't know what time you people are playing it because you live in weird upside down worlds of weird time frames.
Yeah, some do. I'm gonna be playing it in 2 hours. Well, 1 hour and
2
46
hours.
minutes. 1 hour and
I'm
46
not gonna
minutes.
be playing because I'm gonna be asleep like a normal person because I have to be a grown up.
Hey, hey, hold on now. Hold on. Oh, that's trying really hard not to take that personally.
Yeah, I just so I all in all, I think 2042 is going to be a fun time. I'm excited to see what they do with it. I'm also excited to just be honest about it when it does launch. Like, if there are issues, I will let you guys know. Like, you should wait. You should not wait. Um, you should give
Oh,
this game mode a try. This one maybe just avoid for now until they figure out the bugs. You know, like whatever is happening with it, we're going to be very honest about it when it launches. So um, make sure that you are jumping back in and checking it out because we're going to be playing it on stream moving forward. We're going to be, doing a little review time probably in the next week or two. So stick around for that. So I just like catch back up here for a second. Miss Jessica and B. No idea what we're talking about. More of a cybersecurity history girl, history nerd. Hi Stevie. We gotta grab drinks, if not this upcoming week, but the following. Bring your mom, Stevie.
yes, ma'am. I'll be there,
Bring your
Jess.
mom. 2042 is not gonna have a story mode. It
No.
is pure multiplayer on this one. Um, So yeah, you don't have to do any story mode for this one. It's just all the craziness of multiplayer, which is what they need to do. It is a little weird to make a full price game just multiplayer only, but when they are releasing this many different game types and game modes, and then
I
also
was just
going
gonna
to
say, yeah.
support it moving forward, I think this is probably the best way to go. We are going to get a standard battle pass out of this one, so expect to probably purchase in for any future updates at probably about $10 a clip, unless they
Yep.
have the currency like every other game does, where play, you pay your $10 for the first one, and then if you are able to earn enough in-game currency moving forward, you'll be able to purchase in. So, um, Yeah, and don't be sorry. You definitely should wait on any DICE, any EA game. Like
You should wait
I
on anything that
fully
you want to. You should wait on anything you want to wait on. I mean, there's nobody with a gun to your head saying you better buy this AAA title.
yeah.
You better fucking
This
do
is
what you want.
this is purely Battlefield nerd, and I have been straight up about that from the start when I started talking about this game. Is like I am a Battlefield nerd. Like I love these games, and when
Mm.
they are done right, this is all I will play for the next 6 months. And I'm not lying when I say that. I played Tarkov, which I kind of
And
hated playing, but also loved and hated at the same time. Like I played that for about straight 6 months. And if this is any good, this is probably all you'll see me play for a hot minute, unless it's like a breakout. I need a change of pace. Let's play Animal Crossing. I don't know. Who knows what I'll play when I'm playing those crazy random games. And we've all been disappointed by EA. We've all been disappointed by DICE. Like we're not going to get any better than I don't think we're going to have a big disappointment with this, but that
no.
is from the very buggy look that we got last month. So we'll see. We'll see what they've fixed. I don't expect they have fixed everything because I just know what Dice will do when EA is breathing down their neck, and we'll see. We'll be talking about it in the Discord. So definitely check it out in the Discord. There's the link for you guys in the chat. But also like just pay attention to the stream, pay attention to the other streamers that are playing it because I think a lot of people are going to be very honest moving forward with this. If it is shit, they will tell you. We will tell you.
Yep.
If it
100%.
is fun and this specific game mode is fun, we'll say, "Hey, check it out, but also maybe buy it on the Steam Summer Sale." Give it a minute. But pay attention. We're going to do the review of it. We're going to get into it pretty
What do you
deep
What do
moving
you think,
forward.
Aaron? Next week, nice detailed review of
I would give it 2. I'd give it 2
Nope.
weeks. I think next week we'll probably just jump in and be like, "Hey, this is rad. Let's go watch and play." So we'll go over some new stuff next week, but I think we'll probably see some gameplay
actual gameplay of it.
of what Battlefield's actually delivering. Mostly, I'm really just excited to see what Hazard Zone is actually doing because I kind of know what gameplay is going to be like from the beta. So whatever Hazard Zone is actually bringing to the table, I'm very interested in seeing what they're doing. And I think that honestly, that is it for the show, ladies and gentlemen. We talked about Starfield far longer than I thought we were going to talk about Starfield.
Both, yeah.
I think we just really just got excited about a game that we know nothing about.
Nothing about, but the
We're just
potential
like
of it just
sci-fi dorks, just dorking
yeah.
out about sci-fi.
That's all you saw. A couple of nerds, couple of dorky dorks getting dorky
So
over this. That I love it. I'm here for it.
I'm
It's
into it. And then we'll see what Battlefield does. We see it tomorrow. I will definitely try and boot up at least a game to see where it's going. But Stevie, if people are looking to catch the Stevie V show, where can they find the one and only Stevie V?
do me a favor, Aaron. Point bottom left in 3, 2, 1. Right there is where you can go to go check that out.
Straight up the wrong direction when I did that.
Yeah, at first. Go right down there. You go check that out. Twitch.tv/Stevie_V_ is where I will be at. And I will be live shortly after we wrap things up here. And we are going to be doing some stuff and getting ready for Battlefield 2042. I'm going to be playing that for a little bit tonight, heading into the morning, just because, it's a release on something we're excited for. And I want to get my hands on it as quick as I can and get a feel for it as quick as I can. And see if you guys will see me streaming for, a couple hours or if Aaron's going to come back after his afternoon lunch and walk and, whatever he does being an adult. And he comes back at 3 and I'm still awake, cranked out on Chinese food and Red Bulls playing this game until my eyes bleed because
If you don't do that, I will actually be disappointed. Um, Well, that is something to be sticking around for. I highly suggest you guys stick around and check out Stevie's Twitch tonight, just to get that first look. I
Yeah.
think that's much needed when you have so many people like, nah, maybe, nah, probably not, because it's EA and it's DICE. So here's your first look, Stevie's Twitch. Make sure you guys get over there and check it out. If you are looking for something new, something different in your feed, if you're on Instagram, I have recently started a brand new Instagram for my art and my nerd stuff. It's Droids and Villains. It's going to be me doing nerd shit and art shit. If you like art kid stuff, check it out. If you like nerd stuff, check it out. If you like nerd art stuff, check it out. It's all going to be going through that. I'm going to be having a good time just kind of playing and having fun and making new stuff. And it's all going through aaronprovost.com, my main website, where you can get all my nerd and art and links to everything else that I do. So make sure you check it out. And thank you to
These
everybody.
right here. These right here.
Them right there. Them right there, boys and girls.
These two things right here. Look at that. That's me. That's not me, but he made it. That's me. Because it says it on my hats and chairs.
It says it. It says the things.
That's me.
So for now, I think that's going to do it for the evening. I thank everybody for coming out tonight. Captain Wheatgrass, you have a good night.
Wheaties, love you, buddy.
Thanks again to Shivering Wolf for resubscribing to yet another month. That is 8 months again. Thanks to Night Shadow for coming by. Thanks for following. I appreciate that. Thank you for Angry for the raid. And thanks to Stevie V for coming out and hanging out and talking nerd stuff with me tonight yet again. We always have a good time. We always have way longer evening than I expect it's going to go because
Every
we just
time,
get
which
into
is
the nitty
great.
gritty. And I expect that we're going to do much the same next week with hopefully a deeper set list of news than we had this evening. But until then, make sure you check us out.
Prep.
Make sure you just check us out on where we're at. I'm on @CallForFire. I'm on @AaronProvost. I'm on @Droids and Villains. I'm also at shopcallforfire.com where you can get your nerd stuff and your military stuff, even some stuff for you civilians out there. So make sure you guys check it out. Stevie, thank you yet again. Everybody, thank you once more for coming and hanging out. And we will do it again next week. Same bad time, same bad channel, 10 p.m. ish, 10:30 ish. And
ish is good. Ish is always
good. Ish is usually the good way to go. So thanks to everybody, and we'll see you again next week. Peace.
Cheers, folks.